This episode of Dueling Ogres is brought to you by Humble Bundle. Click the banner or link in the description below to check out their great book, software, and game bundles, or subscribe to the Humble Monthly, a curated bundle of games sent to your inbox every month for just $12. This month, receive Dark Souls 3 and the Ashes of Ariandel DLC with more games to come. Each title is yours to keep. Cancel anytime. Enjoy 10% off items in the Humble store, gain access to exclusive Humble originals, and get that warm fuzzy feeling knowing that 5% of each subscription goes to charity. Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres. Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 143. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this bathylytic Thursday evening, Earth date February 15th, 2018. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Brandon Full, back in his home. How you doing, Brandon?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day was yesterday, Brandon.
Happy late Valentine's Day.
There you go. That's very melodic. I enjoy it.
I'm full of love and hearts, chocolates.
Like the little candy chalk hearts?
No, like real hearts.
Oh, okay.
I've got a collection of them. I put them in a bag and sling them over my shoulder and walk down the street.
But I thought you said you were full of them. So does that mean that you were consuming said hearts?
Brandon full of them. because full is my last name, Remington.
Oh!
Yeah, see, I wasn't sure if you got the joke.
No, I didn't. It went right over my head.
So yeah, I say Brandon Full, like, well, you get the picture now.
Yeah, no, I got it. Thank you for clarifying, though. I just would have stood there lost without your explanation.
Confused.
Yes. Bewildered. This website keeps dying on me and it pisses me off.
What website is it?
It's one of the stories that I wanted to touch on later.
Maybe it's that is the universe's way of saying don't talk about this story.
Maybe. Could be. But I refuse to let the universe win.
I don't let the universe tell me nothing.
Not nothing, not no how.
Did you have a good Valentine's Day?
I did. I sat around the house. I did exercises. I got chocolates delivered to me to give to Ginger.
Yeah, chocolates delivered to you?
Well, I mean, they were delivered to the house, but they were Ginger's that I purchased for her from Sherry's Berries. And they're not an affiliate, so...
So don't buy Sherry's Berries.
So don't buy Sherry's Berries. Unless they become an affiliate.
Sherry's Berries talked about a lot on different podcasts I listen to.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably fairly easy to get an affiliate ship with, a partnership.
What are they?
A sailing ship.
A schooner.
Yeah. If you sell enough Sherry's Berries, you can get a schooner.
Ooh. That's a really weird marketing campaign. Help Dueling Ogres get a schooner.
I agree. So yeah, that was my Valentine's Day. I wore my body out. I tried ball exercises.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ball exercises on Valentine's Day, huh?
Rolling around on the balls. Yeah.
Or
on a singular ball, on a large red ball, on a large red rubber ball.
Yikes.
Yeah. And that was fun and challenging and painful. And
so you just used your exercise ball?
Yeah. And I found out that going up and down the stairs, like I knew going up and down the stairs was a really good workout, but I didn't realize how challenging it was. So like my goal was to do like... I found a calculator that was like, okay, you'll burn so many calories at this weight and blah, blah, blah for going up and down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
I put it in there and it gave me like a range, like 1 minute of it, 5 minutes, etc. and so on. And I was like, I could probably go up and down the stairs for 10 minutes, but let me shoot for 5. So I set a timer on my phone for 5 minutes, and I have a countdown timer that I used to use for D&D. So I set it for 5 minutes, and I hit start, and I started going up and down the stairs, and I can make a circuit on my stairs in about 20 seconds, 15 to 20 seconds. So about 2 minutes in, I was completely exhausted. My legs felt like rubber, and I was like, holy balls, that is the worst.
Those stairs are killer, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that many of them. I think there's like 12 of them, 12 or 13.
It's not this fact that they're stairs, it's just they're steep.
Yeah. Yeah, they are a little steep.
I know. I can't remember if it was on the last episode we did with Josh where I was talking about them. Just walking up those stairs one time to go to the bathroom. I get to the top of the stairs and I'm like, oh God, these stairs.
Exactly.
And I haven't smoked in like 6 months now. So it's not even smoker long. It's just bad exercise long.
Yeah.
It's bologna sandwich long.
Do you eat a lot of bologna sandwiches?
I'd say the normal amount of bologna sandwiches.
I mean, to be fair, I can't remember the last time that I had a bologna sandwich. So what's the normal?
I had a bologna sandwich today, right before we started recording. I'd say if I have bologna, I'll have a sandwich maybe twice a week.
Okay.
If I don't, I can go months between buying bologna before I'm at the store and I'm like, hey, it's cheap. I'll buy some bologna for easy sandwiches.
Right. Yeah.
So that's my bologna purchasing history.
I prefer like deli meats.
Oh no, I totally do too. But bologna is so cheap.
Yeah.
When I ate this bologna sandwich, it was gritty on my teeth. So I know that bologna is disgusting in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
There were parts that was like eating sand. But you slather enough mayonnaise and cheese on something, you can eat just about anything.
Valid point. There was a real bad vagina joke that I passed up there. About
sandwiches?
About sandy vaginas.
Oh.
Sandy bologna flowers.
Ugh.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I think bologna.
You shouldn't have asked.
Referring to like any sort of genitals as bologna related is like the worst.
Yeah, probably. So,
on a scale of different things you can refer to genitals, and not just ladies' genitals, but guys too.
I regret nothing.
Like a bologna pony. Talking about like that's just gross. Bologna has a very distinctive texture and smell.
You can stop this at any time.
You know what I mean? But like you know what I mean, though. Like if you pull out a piece of bologna from a container to make a sandwich with and you smell your fingers later, it's like, yeah, that's bologna. That's bologna hands.
I wash my hands after I'm done.
Really?
Yeah.
We live on two different planets, Remington.
I don't like the feel of greasy meats under my fingers.
I love it. I look forward to it.
I base my entire sundial on it.
Yeah, when I wake up in the morning, I just go from greasy meat finger to greasy meat finger. This world's not my home, Rim. I'm just passing through.
Oh, shit. Well, what else have you been up to?
Nothing. I had to work on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So by the time I got home, my girlfriend had left.
I didn't, but Ginger was working, so.
Yeah.
And we didn't really do much. She did give me some little chalky hearts, which I ate on stream.
Oh, really? I haven't caught your stream in a while. You've started kind of late.
I know. I haven't been able to get to it until like 11-ish, and there were a few days where I was running behind. But last night I did 2 hours of Cortex Command.
Oh, yeah? I haven't heard of that. What's Cortex Command?
It came out in like 2012, and it's like a side-scrolling action, kind of a side-scrolling action adventure with a little bit of strategy, in there. So like you are this disembodied brain and you have a warring faction that you're against, and you have the first time I ever played it was last night for 2 hours. So I was just starting to get the hang of it when I was getting ready to turn in for the evening. But you're this disembodied brain, and you can control different units by jumping back and forth by putting your consciousness into different units.
Okay.
So you can set these units up to either like patrol or sit there and defend, and you gather resources, and then you fight an enemy who will come and try to take your bases. And it's actually like, it's made to be up to 4 players. So I would love to get like you and Kevin. Kevin would probably really enjoy the shit out of this game if he hasn't already played it. Me and somebody else to jump in and play it on the big screen. And maybe,
that would be cool.
Yeah, and maybe record it that way. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But so yeah, I mean, I was just kind of piddling through, and I honestly didn't think that it was going to be an interesting stream, because I wasn't super excited to play it. Like, after looking at it, like, I watched a video of it and I was like, I don't know if I could make this interesting to stream.
Yeah.
But it goes back to having a community. I had 2 or 3 like veteran players of Cortex Command who found me somehow. I don't even know. I didn't bother to ask, but the one guy popped in and he was like giving me all these tips and telling me some videos to check out if I wanted to get more into it. And
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then another guy came in later and they started having their own little discussion inside of the chat, and I'm just like, oh, that's cool.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. So it was really fun to have that part of this community that's getting ready to bud, to blossom.
Yeah, you're starting to see the seeds of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a couple of people, but still. I have like a standard lurker.
Oh, really? You don't know who it is?
Yeah, I don't think I do. I might. Well, I don't have an inkling of who it is, but I'm curious as to whether or not it's somebody I know.
Okay.
But they show up about every time that I start streaming, but they never say anything.
It's your one hidden fan. They're eventually going to kill you.
Oh, God, I hope so. That would be a great way to go.
I don't think I could carry on the podcast without you.
That's because you refuse to come over and learn how all this shit works.
I'm not laughing with you.
Why not?
Because I don't find it funny, Remington.
Well, all you have to do is come over and let me just, spill all of my knowledge onto you. Just fap it onto you.
Nah, especially when you put it like that, which you do a lot, put it like that.
Well,
just come over and let me fap onto you, Brandon. Let me fap it all over you. Let me just coach you in my knowledge.
Yeah. Like butter on a delicious bologna sandwich.
That was a sigh. I don't know if my microphone picked that up.
It did. I
Okay.
heard it. I'm sure the audience did too.
It's like a play at home game. The audience all sighed when I did.
Yeah. So what do you got, Brandon?
Very little.
I have probably more than.
Okay, why don't you start with a story and then I'll come back with one.
Okay, we actually had a request from ye old Bucky in the Discord. He wanted us to talk about the Heavy Falcon.
Oh yeah,
launch.
And hopefully you know about this because I did not follow it at all.
I do. I actually do know a little bit about it. So yeah, he wanted to know a little bit more about the Falcon Heavy rocket, and this will lead me right into my space news.
Ooh,
fancy effects right on the fly.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did that on the fly. That's not post-edited.
No, that's non-edited in the edit.
And ladies, he's single.
Just don't tell my girlfriend. So the Falcon Heavy, the Falcon rocket has been used for years now as a means of conveyance of things to and from space.
Okay.
So what's interesting about SpaceX's Heavy Falcon, or Falcon Heavy, I think it's Falcon Heavy, is it's the first time, number one, that a private company has launched something into space of its own, or did its own launch, rather. And then the second is that the thruster rockets that drop off of the main capsule,
yeah,
actually come down and land instead of crashing back to the Earth and having to be retrieved.
Okay.
And whether or not they work is kind of up in the air. So these come down and they actually will boop land.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you watch this real quick, and I'll just fix that in editing.
Do they actually make that boop noise when they land?
Yes. So now they're passing 7,000 kilometers per hour, which is like 10,000 miles an hour. Here, the bottom two screens are the, and then the top one, you can see how they're coming back down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. So now the other side of it, the large side, they launched that and those two came back down, and then the main rocket landed on an automated sea platform. So there's nobody on this platform, and it just kind of floats around on the sea and then goes to the location where the rocket is going to land.
Wow.
Yeah. And they landed it on this little platform, this unmanned platform.
So this is what you can do when your space program actually has money.
Yeah. Yes.
As opposed to NASA, where we're just like, I don't know, launch it, drop some shit into the ocean. Will it land? Fingers crossed, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's when I was watching it, I was really just very awestruck by it, because I mean this puts out what this essentially does is now you can just refuel these rockets and send up another one.
Yeah.
And that to me is quite amazing, because it really just speeds up the process, and there's not as much cost because you can reuse these booster rockets over and over again.
Yeah, you don't have to keep building the rockets. That's really cool.
Yeah. So Elon Musk has been trying to get this, like he announced development of the rocket in 2011. But it took way longer than he had anticipated. But in that time period, they took the Falcon 9 rocket that was originally, what they were using, and they beefed it up. So now it can carry, like, I think it's twice the amount of cargo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That you could before. So he launches this thing off into space, right? And we see it take off, and we see the boosters drop off, and then we see the main booster drop out, and then we just have this like big glowing rocket capsule that's the top capsule itself. And we see these, like, I think if I remember right, it like these inner fins kind of drop off, and there is one of his Tesla Roadsters with a dummy inside of it. And the thing that cracked me up the most and just made me giggle like a schoolgirl was on the center console where the LED touchscreen is. It said, "Don't panic." Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so the during the launch, I mean, he was even surprised. He said that it worked. Like, I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Like, of course you have to have your faith, but at the same time, there are literally millions of things that could go wrong on a launch.
Mm.
So to have that kind of thing happening, I mean, he was, I think one of the quotes was, "Holy flying fuck, it actually took off." That's what he said. Yeah. So
I wonder if there are people out there that hate Elon Musk. There has to be, right?
Oh, I'm sure. But I mean, if you're talking about the idea of a Bond villain, I mean, he's the perfect Bond villain if he were a bad guy, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because he'd be launching James Bond into space. That would be such a perfect James Bond scene.
Yeah.
Is he captures James Bond in his James Bond car and just launches him into space.
And it just happens to be a Tesla.
Yeah.
I've been tracking you the whole time, Mr. Bond. It's my car, you idiot. Sorry, that was a real weak, evil laugh.
It's not nearly as good of a laugh as the mind fuck.
No comments on that. I'm so surprised.
I feel like people maybe don't always stay for the outtakes.
Maybe.
But that's fine. Mindfuck will be our little secret, Remington.
Oh, I like it.
Go back to episode before last and listen to the outtakes if you want to hear about Mindfuck and villainous backstory.
Let us know if you want Brandon to draw a character to put on a shirt.
Yeah, I'll try to draw like a Jack Kirby style mindfuck shirt.
That would be awesome.
I feel like I would need to censor the word fuck just for the sake of selling them.
We'll just put one asterisk. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll just do mindfuck, but the fuck will be like an @ sign and a hashtag.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as kind of a spinoff of Elon Musk sending his roadster in, his thought on doing this, apart from just it being silly and fun, and you should do things that are silly and fun, which is like a quote from him about it.
Yeah.
Is that he just thought it would be neat to have something, circling the sun 1 billion years from now.
It's circling the sun?
Well, he liked the idea of it orbiting for 1 billion years. So maybe the Earth. I don't know if he specified. I think he just said orbiting. But
okay.
some Canadian and Czech Republic scientists, I don't even know if this article calls them astroboffins. And I don't know what
astroboffin?
And I don't know what an astroboffin is.
It sounds adorable though. It sounds like a little like a solar smurf.
An expert in a field relating to the stars, especially astronomy. So
maybe not scientists per se, but experts.
Yeah. Astroboffin.
Oh, he's an astroboffin.
Hey, he's an astroboffin, that one. Aye.
I love it. I want to start calling my daughter my little astroboffin.
You should. Get her interested. Is she very interested in space at all?
Yeah, she loves that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool. Did she watch the Falcon Heavy? Nice. So these guys authored a paper thinking that there is a chance that the vehicle could make a return to Earth. There's a 6.5% chance in the next 1,000,000 years, to be precise, and a 2.5% chance that it'll have a collision with Venus over the same period. So Either way, we're not getting 1 billion years out of it, but we may get 1,000,000 years.
Bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, right?
Oh, well, actually, Mr. Musk.
I don't know if anybody has told you, but gravity does not work that way. No.
I feel like the listeners really missed out on the face you're making on that one.
Agreed.
Because you went all in on that.
No. I was channeling my inner Conan O'Brien. He does a really good nerd face.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I would hope that if it does re-enter Earth's atmosphere, somebody somewhere has giant speakers playing the opening to Lowrider.
or highway to the danger zone.
Like as it just heads towards a populated city.
Yeah. Just burning up in the atmosphere as it comes.
Yeah.
And they said that there would be little to worry about if it did come crashing back down to the planet, because most of it would burn up in the atmosphere.
Actually, the car would burn up in the atmosphere anyway, Mr. Musk.
Well,
there would be no danger to the people below. No.
I hate these astroboffins.
So I'm going to wrap up my final piece of space news. This one will be kind of short.
Okay.
There is a solar storm that is supposed to hit tonight around 8:25 Eastern time. And there is good news and indifferent news about it. So this was a fairly low energy solar flare that happened. But it is always really neat to see a solar flare. So if you haven't seen it, check in the link below. And I think they put some... there's a tweet from Michael Cook, who is a space WX forecaster, meteorologist, space studies in North Dakota.
So he's a bit of a space boffin.
Or Nebraska. Yeah. Yeah, he's a bit of a space boffin. And apparently does a spaced out podcast. I don't know. Anyway. He likes craft beer. This is from his Twitter. I don't know.
He has a nice beard. I don't know.
But he did share a GIF or GIF of the solar flare. And it's one of those like gray, pictures, but you can see this explosion happening. It's really, it's really, really interesting. So the reason why a solar flare is important is because when a solar flare comes toward the Earth, it brings with it a huge magnetic field and plasma, which can disrupt communications, telecommunications here on Earth. If it's big enough, it can even cause an EM field that will actually knock out entire, electronic equipments. So fortunately, we haven't had one that big since like the late 1800s during the almost during the cowboy days.
Oh, okay. So something they wouldn't really have noticed that much anyway.
Yeah. So what had happened is it actually disrupted the telegraph. It completely fried the telegraph system. So they had to go out and replace a bunch of stuff in the telegraph.
Oh, didn't it actually like fry it too?
Yeah. Well,
actually like melted.
I don't know for sure. I'm not that versed in it, but I do know that it happened.
I feel like it did, and even if it didn't, it makes for a cool story. So let's say it did. It melted telegraph lines.
It completely melted telegraph lines. Molten metal was falling onto people's heads and burning through their cowboy hats.
Thank God this is a 10-gallon.
There was one fella who it dripped right into the back of his boot, and he thought that there was a snake in his boot, and that's where we got it from Woody.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So you're learning little cowboy facts now, too. Space news, cowboy news, it's all news.
Yeah. Now, not only can it disrupt like our stuff, our technology, but it can actually cause marine life to potentially beach themselves.
Oh, because it just screws up their echolocation?
Yeah, well,
whatever it is they have.
Yeah. It's actually a magnetoreception. So it can be affected by magnetic field changes. So when these fields hit the Earth, it actually causes the magnetosphere to warp and bend. So you'll see like aurora that are visible from higher altitudes, or further down the planet than usual, like all the way into Michigan and Maine even. You might see the power grid fluctuations. It might not knock anything out entirely. We have pretty good protection about that nowadays. That's why all of our wires, well, one of the reasons why all of our wires are coated, but they're a special coating to help prevent that. But if it's strong enough, it'll get through it. It can cause minor damage to satellites that are in geosynchronous orbits. It could degrade radio frequencies. So it could do all of these things, including, causing the internal compasses, the magneto location.
Yeah.
To fuck them up to where they don't quite know where they're going and end up beaching themselves. So
does this happen? Is this just like a one-time pulse when there's a solar flare? Is it just a one-time boom, or is it like a actual pulsing thing?
No, it's usually a one-time boom. So the sun has storms just like we have storms. Yeah. Only their storms are based up of, elements that are molten coming in together and blowing off like a 12 kiloton nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it's having one of these storms, it can just build up a whole bunch of energy and then it just explodes off of the surface of the sun. And if it is facing the Earth, because these storms are kind of happening all the time, and the sun actually goes through phases throughout. I can't remember if I think it's throughout the year, or maybe it's throughout a couple of years where it'll have periods of light activity, and then it'll step up in activity, and we'll see a whole lot of solar storms and solar flares happening for a couple of years or for a few months, and then it'll drop back down and we won't see a whole lot and it'll be fairly calm.
Yeah.
So it goes back and forth. But if one of those happens to be facing the Earth when it goes off, that's when all that bad shit can happen.
So do you go into this with any sort of fear?
Oh, no. The reports are is that the storm itself is not going to be big enough to do anything but what I just mentioned. You know, it may cause some power fluctuations. You might not even notice it if you're home. It would be something that sensitive equipment, you know, operators of sensitive equipment might pick up.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe server rooms or something like that, where you see a dip in your power fluctuation, or anything that uses quite a bit of power.
It's crazy to me to think about something so far, and this sounds like such a simplistic way to say this, because I guess it is, but to think about something so far away having a random storm that can affect our equipment here on Earth.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, here's the real kicker, man. Something that might just blow your mind. There are stars out there that have collapsed on themselves, like magnetars and neutron stars,
Mhm.
that are so dense that they'll actually shoot beams out of either pole, and they will spin wildly out of sync. And if one of those beams ends up facing the Earth, it could actually kill us all.
Really?
Yes, from fucking light years away.
It's just a beam of destruction?
Just a beam of destruction. Like, that is something that could theoretically happen.
Yeah. I remember reading a Cracked article years ago that was like 5 ways the universe can kill you right now.
Yeah.
And solar storms is one. And then I know there's something with just the way that our reality works, where if like, I'm putting it in simple terms because I don't understand it and I don't remember it exactly, but where somehow if the atoms that make up everything and the dark matter that makes up everything gets into a perfect alignment, it just would wipe out everything.
Huh. I haven't heard
So
that one. That one sounds
there's
fun, though.
always that tiny chance that just everything would just be destroyed in an instant.
That's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
You only live once.
Well, perhaps.
Well, yeah. I guess it depends on what you believe, but you only live once in this
Yeah.
body.
To be realistic, you only live once.
Yeah.
But I have some news too, if you're finished with your space news.
I am. That's the end of the space news.
It's kind of like a space ghost thing.
Yeah. Space Ghost.
Will you throw the echo on for that?
Yeah. Space Ghost.
Perfect.
Or Pigs in Space.
I feel like that's where this idea came from, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pigs in space.
Yep. I love it. Well, that and Space Ghost. That's always running through my head when I put that echo effect on my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You even have kind of the announcer voice from Space Ghost when you do that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so you brought some grand news, solar flares, launching cars into space, all stuff that's crazy, but I have a story that's going to trump all of that.
Okay.
Because you didn't realize it, but this was a competition episode where we are competing on who has the better stories, and I'm about to win hands down.
All right, so I guess this means that I'm going to put a poll down in the in the show description, and a link that you can go to if you're not looking at it on our website to vote on who had the best stories. It'll just be Brandon's name or Rem's name, and Brandon, you can go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Check this out, Remington.
Okay.
Whenever you're at family gatherings, things like that, what's a card game that you like to play?
A card game?
Yeah, a general card game that everybody enjoys. It's a Mexican card game.
A Mexican card game?
Created by Mattel. A little game called Uno, Remington. Maybe you've heard of it?
Yeah, Uno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spanish?
Uno's been around since the 70s.
Right.
And it's a perfect game, I would have to say. It's easy to learn.
I really enjoy it.
Fun to play. I mean, it's not going to blow anybody's minds, but it's pretty fun to play.
Yeah.
They have announced a sequel to Uno.
Is it called Dos?
Yes. There is a sequel to Uno called Dos that is releasing March 4th at Target.
Okay.
For $5.99.
Huh. So, I mean, okay, so do you know what makes up Dos? Like, why is it Dos? Is it just
It's
Uno?
it's basically like you're playing 2 games of Uno at the same time. That's not me trying to make a joke. That's legitimately what Doe says. You have 2 piles and you can play your cards on the piles.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I wish I could find the original article I read, because there was a quote from one of the guys at Mattel who helped create it.
Yeah.
And they've been working on this, he said, for like 4 or 5 fucking years.
Why?
To try to get dose exactly right. From what I could understand of the rules,
Okay.
you have a central column with a card. Then you have 2 outer columns.
Okay.
You can play a card in the center column that matches, just like Uno, or you can play a card on each of the outside columns, so 2 cards that equal the total of the card in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you have 3 lanes going, pretty much.
Okay. I mean...
And then whoever runs out of cards first counts the amount of numbers in everybody else's hands, and that's how many points they get, and it's the first person to get to 200 points wins.
Okay.
Which is technically how you're supposed to play Uno. I don't know anybody who actually plays that way, where you count points and stuff.
Actually, when we were younger, I used to play by the rules. We would play by the rules.
Of course you did.
Yeah. And if you remember, I think you were in on this too, but do you remember when we used to play it on the Xbox, on Kevin's Xbox? We'd all get around and just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we would just sit there and play Uno on the Xbox.
Uno's a good game.
It is. I enjoy it. We ought to get together and play some Uno.
I mean, screw Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
Forget Magic the Gathering.
Fuck
Uno is where
Pokemon, get out of here.
Pokemon, feh. I say.
Feh on you and your family of 4,000 Pokemons.
I spit at you, Pikachu. I hope you die.
Peh.
Feh. So what are your opinions on Dose? Do you care? Is it a thumbs up from Rim or a thumbs down?
I mean, I'd play it, but it sounds like it's just Uno, but a little more complicated.
It really just is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, it's not going to change my entire fucking world. It just might double my world.
There you go. I'm starting to doubt the veracity of my story.
Yeah,
in comparison to yours.
You might pull it into question. I mean, I'll give it a try. Maybe it'll be mind bending, Brandon. Who knows?
Maybe you'll play Dose and suddenly you'll be a Dose head.
Yeah, yes. I guess. I don't know what a Dose head is.
I don't know. I was trying to think of what a person who's really into Dose would be called. A Dosey-Do?
A dossier?
A dossier? I like that one. Did you hear about Remington? He's really got into Dose now.
Yeah, he's a complete dossier.
You're wearing like the leather gloves with the 2 fingers. You know what I'm talking about? Like almost a bowling glove so you can draw the cards.
Yeah, so I don't get the grease on the cards.
Yeah. You've got sunglasses and a cowboy hat.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth doing a poll for this, Brandon.
I don't know. I feel like my story is pretty strong.
Okay. Well, I'll do the poll.
You had 3 space stories.
Against my better judgment.
Because you don't want me to be destroyed.
I don't know. Maybe I know nothing of our audience and everybody is into fucking card games.
Specifically Uno and Dose.
Specifically Uno and Dose, yeah.
The guy who created it had a quote where he was like, "Don't expect Trace anytime soon." You know, that dude had to have felt like he just fucking nailed that press conference when he said that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Honey, you would not believe what I said.
I fucking dropped the mic and just exited stage right.
I gave him the doses.
Do you have another story?
No, that's all I brought.
Is that seriously all you brought?
No, I brought dose stories. The second one I have. Waka waka. By entertaining you listeners, you sons of bitches.
You're entertaining me, Brandon, and that's the whole point.
Vote Brandon in the poll.
Don't do it.
Old Spice released, and this is a bit of an old story. This is within the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Old Spice on their Twitter randomly was like, hey, check out this D&D class we made. And they made a full like 4-page character class for D&D 3.5 edition.
Okay.
And the class is called the Gentleman.
Ooh, okay. I guess I'm not surprised that they went with that, but at the same time, I'm a little surprised that they went with that.
It's interesting that they went 3.5 with it too.
Yeah,
that shows a little bit of nerdiness there.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I feel like that's okay because 3.5 is very easy to convert to Pathfinder.
Yeah.
So I think that they would, I don't know, I think they just went with 3.5 because going with Pathfinder is kind of, I don't know, I feel like, Wizards owns D&D now.
So click on it so you can look at it while I...
Oh,
so here's a quick...
Hold on, it's styled fucking beautifully. It looks like a PDF of one of the books.
Yeah, no, this wasn't made... It wasn't just like some bullshit rules on a page. They made it look like it would go into the player's handbook completely.
Wow.
They kept the art style. They kept the charts the same.
Yeah.
It's like they used the same font even. I don't know what font they use, but...
That's awesome. Yeah, there'll definitely be a link for this for anybody who wants to jump into it. So
I think it would be fun to have a character in a one-shot playing as this class.
Absolutely.
This character long-term, they're pretty OP.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they start out and they have an ability called Fancy Clothes.
Okay.
Where you can the only armor you can wear is a fine dark silken jacket and trousers over a pristine and starched white tunic and necktie. Your armor class is 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your charisma modifier.
Oh, nice.
It takes 2 minutes to put these fancy clothes on, 1 minute if assisted by a butler, a spouse, or a really helpful spider. You may also wear tinted sunglasses to add another +1 to your armor class.
And to see better in the sun.
Yes. So some of the examples of things that you get at first level, you get both a catchphrase and a punchline. So they're kind of like a bard in the abilities that they get.
Yeah.
So the catchphrase inspires somebody near you. The punchline makes an enemy take 1d4 damage and get a -2 penalty on their next attack roll. So
and the abilities
damage
OP. And the abilities damage increases by 1d4 every 4th level or so. So it steps up like a magic missile does.
Yeah. They get an ability at 3rd level called Something Dumb. Starting at 3rd level, once per session, the gentleman may change one thing in the game that has no effect on actual gameplay, and the DM must allow it. If that's confusing, here are some examples. The gentleman may put clown shoes on a party member, turn a troll's hands into hard-shelled tacos, turn all the plants a beige color, etc. These effects last for the duration of the session. So it has a little bit of a meta vibe to it too.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. At 5th level, the gentleman receives a diploma from an accredited college in the art of the sell. So at 5th level, you get a bachelor's in marketing, which allows you to sell your items for 15% more than market value.
It would have been 20% if he hadn't goofed around so much in his sophomore year.
Yeah.
He has one that you also get at 5th level called I'm on a horse. At 5th level, once per day, the gentleman can use an immediate action to say, I'm on a horse, and a horse will appear beneath him. The horse can then dash 30 feet in any direction and then disappear.
I gotta say, I kind of love this.
Yeah, that's... You get a wolf dog at 11th level.
Because, yeah, it's marketing, it's advertising, it has us talking about Old Spice, so it worked.
Yeah.
and I saw the Nerdist. I think that's where I originally caught the story, was on the Nerdist.
Right.
So, you know, D&D and nerdy stuff is big right now with Adventure Zone podcast, and a lot of different podcasts do Let's Plays of D&D and are doing pretty well for themselves, Harmon Quest and all that.
Right.
But it doesn't feel like an overly marketed thing.
No. In fact, it was probably, Old Spice probably got the Nerdist to write it up for them, if I were to hazard a guess.
Well, there's definitely artwork done specifically for this. I guess when you have a company like Old Spice, they have a whole marketing department.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure that they have a very talented person to get all of this done.
My favorite is at the very bottom of the page. You get the ability where you can turn into a dog or a wolf.
Yeah, they turn into a wolf at 11th level.
But you can also talk and ace any difficult business decision.
As a wolf?
Yes.
Nice.
But there's a drawing of a wolf at the very bottom on the 4th page with a fighter's helmet on, sunglasses, and it looks like some sort of vocal box hanging around his neck.
Yeah.
To convert his barks to speech.
Like the dog from Up.
Yeah. And finally, if you break the gentleman's code, which you can do, and the way you break the gentleman's code is by attacking a person of the opposite sex first.
Yeah.
To get back in the good graces and get your abilities again, because you lose your abilities immediately if you break the code.
Right.
You have to carry a humanoid of the opposite sex for an entire day.
Yeah. Like any ex-gentleman should.
Yeah.
At 19th level, you get an MBA. You can now solve complex organizational management problems. Oh, that's good. See, I mean, this story might win your favor back, Brandon.
I still feel like the Dose story was pretty solid.
I mean, it's solid. It's solid. I don't know if it's groundbreaking, but it's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that is really cool. I'd also be down to try this once. Or just have a whole group of gentlemen.
Yeah.
And
I really love this story.
We'd live stream it and call it the sausage party.
The baloney fest.
The rolled baloney rocket.
All right, so let me hit you with my third story since I did a trio like you did.
Ooh, third and final.
Third and final story. Well, not final story, but third story in my Tit for Tat space news.
Okay.
They are doing a sequel to Kung Fury.
Okay.
Which is, you sat down and watched Kung Fury. I watched it as well, but you did like a secret commentary with the guys from the Source Material podcast.
Yes.
You'd probably be better at describing what Kung Fury is exactly.
Well, first, if you want to check that out, you can find Source Material on Facebook at, I think it's hashtag Source Material Podcast, or at Source Material Podcast on Twitter, I think. You can search it and it'll come up, but it's part of the Radulich in Broadcasting Network. So if you're looking for their podcast on any of your pod apps, look for the Radulich in Broadcasting Network, because Mark Radulich has a whole bunch of podcasts that he does under his umbrella of network.
Yeah.
But Kung Fury was a kind of a pet project of, I can't remember the fella's name now, but he wrote it himself. He put all the funds together. He used crowdfunding. It was like one of the first successful crowdfunded pieces. He got David Hasselhoff to come in and sing a song and be a part of it. And it was kind of an ode to all of those like 80s over-the-top movies. So you had a cop who was kind of the on the outer fringes of cop society, doing his own thing and being the vigilante, basically. There's time travel, there's dinosaurs, there's crazy synth music and bad computer graphics, animation. So, I mean, he just threw everything that he loved from his childhood into this apocalyptic style thing where he fights Hitler. The main bad guy is Hitler.
Well, and like one of the cops is a triceratops.
Yeah, and his name is Triceratops.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first thing that they fight is a arcade machine that has come to life.
Yep.
So it's a ridiculous, over the top movie. They do hacking by standing on a keyboard to go back in time.
Yeah. And then
but they're doing a sequel to it.
Yes, I imagine they did. They left it very open-ended. You know, they didn't actually kill off Hitler. He ended up escaping, so spoilers. But you can actually go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see it on there. It's free, and it's definitely worth a look.
Absolutely.
This sequel is going to star David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Michael Fassbender is in it. So this lends some credence to it actually being like a full-time, full-on movie.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger is in it, playing the President of the United States.
Nice. Something that couldn't happen because he is not a native-born American.
Thanks for bringing us all down, Ram.
I'm just saying. We can never have Arnold as president.
We could always change it.
I mean, we could.
I wouldn't want Arnold Schwarzenegger as president. Not to go off. No, I don't want to destroy my 3 stories and destroy my votes.
Okay.
Which we're going to have.
Okay.
I'm just saying we don't need celebrities as president. Oprah as president. We don't fucking need it. Let's get some people who actually know what they're doing into the office and not celebrities. Anyway, the description they give for Kung Fury: his Thunder Cops are the ultimate police force assembled from across history to defeat the villainous Kung Führer, Adolf Hitler.
Fantastic. I like it.
So there's that. There's no release date or anything for it yet. I don't even think it started filming. I think it's still in casting.
Oh, I'm sure. So speaking of like old 80s style movies, we now have a trailer for Cobra Kai, which is the YouTube Red series based on the Karate Kid.
See, I didn't watch the trailer. Did you?
I did. There's a lot of voiceover from Ralph Macchio and William Zabka, who is the fellow who played Johnny Lawrence in the movie.
Okay.
And so Johnny Lawrence is reopening the Cobra Kai dojo, and like I said, there's voiceover between him and Daniel LaRusso, where they're talking back and forth, and it's basically kind of this dichotomy between the two styles of karate that they're teaching. So, like, Cobra Kai is no mercy. It's basically a way of the fist, only not to be confused with the actual way of the fist, but you get what I'm saying. where Daniel San's karate is based more on balance and center and defense, almost, as it were.
Mr. Miyagi taught him a lot more of the deflecting blows versus actually being effective.
Yeah, just because you can fight doesn't mean you should, is kind of what you get.
Which is not what I want to hear from a karate teacher.
that just because you can fight doesn't mean you should?
Yeah. I want to be in the Cobra Kai school, I guess. Like, motherfucker, if I'm paying you, teach me how to throw a kick.
Well, I mean, he taught him how to throw kicks.
You're going to take my money and then be like, the best thing to do is just not fight. Thanks.
The best defense is a good offense.
Yeah, learn to run.
Wax on, wax off, motherfucker. Get out of my sight.
Get out of my sight? Is that
Get
what you said?
out of my sight. Get out of my sight, Daniel-san.
Is this a show that is remotely interesting to you? I know we've talked about it before a couple weeks ago.
After watching... Okay, so I'm not going to go out of my way to get YouTube Red. I'm just not. Yeah. I have no reason to. This is not a good enough reason for me to go out and get YouTube Red.
Yeah, I have too many subscription services already.
Exactly. So, that being said, am I excited about it? I'd be interested in watching a couple episodes, but I'm not going to get YouTube Red to do so. So there's that. And I will say this, YouTube Red actually has a few shows that I would enjoy watching, like the Vsauce guy. He has a YouTube Red show. I think there's a couple of other really good YouTubers that have some that I think would be really interesting. I can't remember which ones they are right now. So the content exists out there, but like I said, there's just not enough for me to justify getting it myself.
I know that the guy, I think it's the guy who does Game Theory, has that show where he has people reenact video games.
Yeah.
That seems interesting to me. But yeah, I don't even know what is on YouTube Red. I assume a lot of YouTubers doing loud, annoying things.
And that's the thing is that they're not marketing very well. Like, YouTube has been this bane of Google for nearly a decade now, where it has lost money, and now they're trying to expand their programming, and they're chomping down on basically the freedom of creation. With the adpocalypses, and to a certain extent, I absolutely understand that you don't want your ads playing next to, white supremacist bullshittery. I get that. But, those people should not be on YouTube in the first place. I mean, as soon as somebody who's not looking for that content runs across it, it should immediately, get banned, in my personal opinion. There should be a strong ban hammer with that.
Yeah.
But I can understand the concept is that millions of videos go up every week, or even maybe every day. So it's hard to police all of that, and I understand that. But the algorithm still has a really long way to go. This ties into the hemorrhaging of money that YouTube is for Google, and now they're trying to create this content to bring more viewers into YouTube Red, so they can actually start creating a revenue, and that would be fine and good, except that I'm not getting pushed toward it. Like, I will see YouTube Red ads, but nothing that is grabbing a hold of me and pulling me in and saying, oh, this is something that I want to watch. And it's not like Netflix, where word of mouth goes around about what was the one with Kevin Spacey?
Oh, House of Cards.
House of Cards, yeah, which got canceled, I think.
Yeah. Well, they pulled Kevin Spacey because he pulled some stuff.
Yeah. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, animal.
Well, I'm looking at it, and I was just, while you were talking, I was going through the YouTube Red individual programming. There's nothing on there that appealed to me at all.
Yeah.
It's also $9.99 a month, or if you have an iPhone, it's $12.99 a month to stream it to an iPhone.
Okay, that's another thing. Why would you have two different price points? That's ridiculous.
Maybe because it's Google that owns YouTube. Google also has the Android stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason that they give.
That would be
fucking $10 a month. There's Rooster Teeth stuff on there. I don't watch a whole lot of Rooster Teeth, but Rooster Teeth is good.
Yeah.
I give Rooster Teeth 2 thumbs up for what they do.
Right. But you said, there's no marketing, and there's nothing that's worth watching, apparently.
The biggest advertisement, the biggest sell for me on YouTube Red is whenever I'm driving to and from work, or I'm just driving around. A lot of times I'll have YouTube on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm not watching it, but I'm playing music, or I have a couple different YouTubers I'll listen to. So I'll throw it on in my car through my stereo while I'm driving around.
Right.
You can't turn off your phone when you're streaming YouTube unless you have YouTube Red. YouTube Red allows you to play a video and turn your phone off.
Right. Exactly.
Is the big selling point of YouTube Red, is an annoying thing that they could make you, or they could let you do already.
But if you're just using it to listen to music, you can just download YouTube Music and pay for it. And I think it's a different price.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hold on, let me find out. So I was a little wrong with the YouTube Music app. What it is you can get it, and it is YouTube built just for music. Every video starts a nonstop station. Personalized stations learn your taste, see concert footage and live recordings, and nearly endless catalog. And if you have YouTube Red, you can enjoy the music without ads and being able to turn your screen off. So they folded it into YouTube Red, but I remember when they first started it, it was you could pay for it itself.
Okay,
if I remember correctly. So, yeah.
There are going to be so many streaming services in the next year, man.
You think
Disney's pulling all of their stuff off of Netflix by 2019.
Yeah.
because Disney's launching their own service. Fox has Hulu. YouTube has their thing. I saw, speaking of this streaming news, I guess,
Yeah.
Netflix just reported that they got Ryan Murphy, creator of Nip Tuck, Glee, American Horror Story, Scream Queens.
Okay.
They struck a 5-year, $300 million deal to have him.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, so he has a couple more months left at Fox, and then he's going to start producing stuff exclusively for Netflix. So Netflix is getting pretty fucking serious about it. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I guess they've always been serious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
really
they have.
Yeah, they're really going hard with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
I forget that I dip out when.
Yeah, when I'm talking and you talk, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And it does it on the computer too.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I said, they have been hitting it hard for a few years. Netflix, but
yeah,
I see now we're getting this. This is so aggravating. Like, I'm gonna have 200 different apps for each station that I want to watch one show on. That's ridiculous. Just put it all on Netflix or put it all on Hulu and just let it be. Make your deals. It's less expensive instead of having to create. Well, I mean, they already have to have the servers, I imagine. I imagine that those videos are fed off of whoever actually owns them, off of their servers.
Yeah.
I mean, I if I were to assume, but I could be wrong. But you have that. You have the creation of the app itself, which, granted, isn't particularly difficult. But if you want a really good app, you're going to have to spend some time and shell out some money for it. And of course, if your name is Disney, they're going to charge you 4 times what it's actually worth, or better.
Well, and the thing too is, one of the big reasons why Netflix became so popular is because people's cable bills were fucking outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you cut the cord, you decide, I'm not going to have cable anymore. I'm sick of this $80 cable bill. I'm going to have Netflix. So that's $12.99. Netflix is up to $12.99. Okay, they pulled all the Disney stuff. I want to see the Star Wars movies when they come out. So now I got to get Disney streaming. That's going to be $15 a month. I'm just pulling this number out of my ass, but
yeah,
$15 a month for that. Oh, but there's a show on YouTube Red I really want to see. There's another $10 a month. Yeah. This shit is going to add up real fast with all these companies. Remember, for years we've talked about how everything moves so slowly, and they tried to fight streaming.
Yeah.
Now they're finally, that big Sauron eye I talked about, I always talk about, has finally looked and been like, okay, we're there. And this is what they're going to do, is they're going to carve up all of this entertainment. Netflix has been getting such a giant piece of turkey. Yeah. If this were Thanksgiving dinner, Netflix has had almost the entire cooked turkey to serve to everybody. And the cable channels are like the sweet potatoes and the other shit that people pick at but nobody really wants.
Right. Everybody's
there for the turkey and mashed potatoes. Now these companies are coming in and they're starting to carve off chunks of this turkey and take it over here and be like, hey, but we have the dark meat. Yeah, well, we've got the part that's got a duck shoved inside of it.
And here's the problem with, I love your analogy, for the record.
Thank you.
Here's the problem.
I'm just hungry.
Me too. Here's the problem that I have is that, let's say they do split up and you have, 50 different streaming apps that you have to pay for to get the content that you want. Let's say you get, the Disney app for just one freaking show, and that's the only thing you want. Well, when that season finally ends, or if they release the whole season at once, as Netflix is wont to do, or like Amazon is wont to do.
Yeah.
Somebody binge watches that season, which we have found out through science is not necessarily good for you. But barring that discussion, they watch it over a couple of days and then they cancel their subscription and wait until, 3 months down the road when it comes back on.
Yeah.
So you either have to be releasing it slowly, as, every week, as you should, really. But most people don't want that out of a stream. They want to binge watch.
Yeah, well, and Netflix can make shows specifically to be binge watched. they can tell their stories in such a way that you don't have to remember who this person is from week to week, because they know that you watch one episode, you're probably watching the next one immediately.
Right.
And if not, you're watching it within a day or two.
Yeah.
It intrinsically changes how they can make shows and how they can plan them, because they don't have to leave every episode off on that cliffhanger to be like, hey, remember us next week, okay, please?
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing.
I'm of two different minds. I think Netflix is killing it. I love Netflix. I use it all the time. But I just became such a corporate whore in my older age. Like, I make fun of you for it, but like when Captain America Civil War, I sided with Iron Man, and I still do. You know, I think Disney buying back all of these Marvel properties, Disney buying Fox, was a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's just making this mega corporation even bigger. Netflix is getting Ryan Murphy, so American Horror Story, one of my favorite shows,
Right.
will now only be on Netflix.
Right.
It's just, there's so much big corporations that are just fucking us constantly.
Yeah.
And I've become okay with it, sort of. When it comes to my media and entertainment, I've become okay with it.
The older you get, the more you tend to lose your fight. That's what's happening. That's just the nature of things. The older you get, the more tired.
Yeah, but I don't want that to happen. I want to be scrappy.
Yeah, it's just you gotta keep yourself in tip-top shape. Then, man, that's how you gotta fight it. It takes more work as each year goes by. It's the same reason. It's the same reason I'm trying to lose some weight. It's so my body doesn't have to suffer as bad as I get older.
Have you noticed your back being less sore or anything yet?
I mean,
you're probably more sore from exercise.
I was going to say it would be if my body were used to the exercise yet, but it's not. So
yeah.
But I have noticed that my pants are fitting a little better. I'm wearing some cut-off khakis that I wear around the house that have a hole in the crotch. And
cut-off khakis like shorts?
Yeah, you've seen them. We've made jokes about these, Brandon.
I don't remember them.
Yes, you do. They're the ones that have the hole in the crotch. So
when you were lots of pants with holes in the crotch.
This is true. But anyway, so
you said that like a teacher. Like I was a kid who had just said something that like you begrudgingly had to admit, like boys have penises. Like, this is true.
This is true. But when I was 320 pounds, this particular pair of pants did not fit particularly well. Like I had to squeeze to get the button to button, even though they're basically the same size as all of my other pants. But my other pants have a little elastic band that'll stretch out in the waist region.
Yeah.
So it'll give me an extra, inch on each side if I need it. So even though they're marketed as 42s, they probably go out to a 44.
Yeah.
I bought a brand new belt. I had to poke 2 holes in when I'd first bought it, and then I lost that weight, and I feel like I could probably get another hole out of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so pretty good.
So I need to just start punching TVs to fight the media then.
Exactly. I was gonna say we got off on a tangent there. Got me talking about my weight again.
I'm fine with it. It's something I know we've talked about it every week, but I mean it's a journey for you.
Yeah. I'm looking at my face in the feed, and it actually does look a little thinner from this angle.
Yeah, I would say so.
So not by much, but I know that if I put my chin down and do the fat guy thing, then
yeah. But I mean, you've lost like 20-some pounds. Like you're going to see a difference for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
I can almost stand to look at you now.
Thanks, buddy. So I've got one last couple of stories that I'm going to fly through a little more quickly.
Okay, yeah, let's hit yours. That's all I've got.
And we're already an hour and a half. So I was going to talk about the Black Panther. It's getting very rave reviews, but it actually comes out tomorrow, which will be a couple days after when this podcast actually comes out. We'll see how quickly I can get it edited, but it's getting rave reviews. If you haven't go see it. We'll see how everything we'll see how everything pans out once it opens up to the rest of the public. And until then, we'll talk about it next week. Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, do you have any plans on watching it at all?
I don't really go to the theater to see movies.
Yeah, neither do I.
If I did, Black Panther would be one that's on my radar. There's a lot of good movies coming out in the next couple of months, too.
Yeah.
I might have to break out of my shell and actually go try to see some movies because I would like to see Black Panther. It's getting great reviews, and it's going to tie together with Infinity War.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I have gotten to the other side of the fence. I'm really kind of excited to see it. I'm still not going to go see it in the theaters, but I am excited to see it. Whereas before, I was a bit trepidatious.
And it's taken on, we can talk about this next week, but it has taken on this huge social presence as far as being a movie with so many Black actors in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it's become such a beast on its own. I mean that in a good way, not like a bad way. Not a bad beast, a good beast.
Yeah.
Like a friendly giant.
Sure. So, Solo.
Yes.
The movie with not Harrison Ford.
I think that guy does not look like a very convincing Han Solo at all.
Oh, do you not?
No.
So what do you think about Donald Glover as Lando?
I think he looks like a Lando.
Yeah, I can kind of give you that. Styled his hair a little differently, but
yeah,
definitely kind of get the young Lando vibe out of him.
Yeah, I think he gives me a lot more of a young Lando vibe than Alden Ehrenreich or whatever his name is.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden First Reich looks less like Han Solo, I think. He just has too much of a broad jaw for Harrison Ford.
Yeah. But I mean, you can't get Harrison Ford to look young. I mean, he's old as shit.
No, I know. I knew that they would have to cast somebody else to play Harrison Ford. I didn't think they try to cram him back into his Han Solo pants and jacket. Shuffle him around on stage.
This is never going to work, you guys. That's my Harrison Ford impression.
Baby, you look great.
I'm not fitting into this vest anymore.
But they still get Donald Glover. Billy D. Williams is like, this is bullshit.
I'm way too busy for this.
Is he?
That's a very bad. See, he did the voice of Lando in the Rebels.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he voiced Lando in Star Wars Rebels.
Lando was such a cool character, and I know almost nothing about him from the expanded universe.
Yeah. So it'll definitely be cool to see what we're gonna get out of this. Hopefully he's not a straight up ancillary character.
Who, Lando?
Yeah. Hopefully
he's got to be huge in it. I sure. Hope so. It's got to be just as much his story as Han's.
I certainly hope so. So we've got Alden Ehrenreich, we've got Donald Glover, we also have Emilia Clarke as Kira, Q-I''RA, because heaven forbid that we spell things the way that we should. This is space.
It's space. They have apostrophes.
And what I wanted to talk about is they released a trailer for it. It looks freaking awesome, but they also released some of the toys for it. So they've released pictures of the toys that are going to be coming out. So the Han Solo, he's wearing a almost kind of denim pants. He's got, it's very basic, a black shirt, a solid brown leather jacket with some black shoulder pads on it. He's carrying his iconic...
Yeah, that's his signature blaster there for sure.
DL-44 heavy blaster pistol. We go to Donald Glover. He has as Lando, he's wearing the signature cape, but he's also sporting. His hair is a little bit different. It's got kind of a fold in it, almost like he's parting it on one side. He's wearing a black scarf with just like these white lines, almost kind of cut into them.
Yeah.
As far as Emilia Clarke's outfit, it looks pretty standard, to be perfectly honest. There's nothing particularly spacey looking about it.
She almost looks like she's wearing a modern jacket.
Yeah. So are you looking at the which one are you looking at?
I was on CNET, but it started playing a fucking ad through my headphones, so I'm on IO9.
Okay, so the CNET one has the Millennium Falcon.
Oh man.
The IO9 one does not. And those links will be down in the description, both of them, because it shows off both sets of toys. And the IO9 one, we also get a picture of a new Stormtrooper.
I was going to say, I love that stormtrooper. That is cool looking.
This is the Imperial Range Trooper, who sort of looks, as quoted from the article, who sort of looks like a cross between Rogue One's Shore Troopers and the Snow Troopers in The Empire Strikes Back. Only they're wearing these, like, heavy metallic boots. It looks like it's perhaps an exoskeleton. It kind of wraps up the legs, so maybe they wear these for long treks.
Yeah.
If it's a range trooper, I would say that makes sense. If they are trained for long distance, marching or something like that. But I don't know.
And he looks like he has actual or faux, but the fur on his shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It does kind of look like it's real fur.
It makes me wonder if that's one of the 6-inch Black Series figures.
Oh, maybe.
Because it says these are all the 3.75.
Yeah. And I mean, they look really good.
Oh no, these are the Black Series figures.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, that's all right.
These are the 6-inch Black Series figures. These are fantastic. I've talked about them before. They're great figures.
Yeah. They all look relatively like their actor counterparts. The Emilia Clarke one is a little soft on her features, I think. But then
if she wasn't holding that Star Wars style gun, she could be a figure from any like 2000s movie. She does not look spacey at all.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: is she played young Sarah Connor in one of the Terminator movies, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's very reminiscent of her Sarah Connor role. But what I really wanted to do is move on to the X-Wing. So the 2-inch Han Solo figure, you can buy one it's a 3.75 inch. It'll also come with a wristband. It's a Star Wars Force Link 2.0 starter set that includes a 3.75 inch Han Solo and a Force Link wristband, and that would roughly retail at about $30. But the big one is you can get a Kessel Run Millennium Falcon playset that is set to retail at $100. Now, they have changed the look of the Falcon, and I wanted to know what you thought of it.
Let me go back to the picture there. They just changed the paints on it, right? Pretty much?
No, the whole shape of the ship is a little off.
Let me see. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. It doesn't have the like divot in the front.
Right. It doesn't have the two little prongs on the front, and it's a longer profile. So it's almost like over the years, Han just took off that front bit by about, 4 feet.
Yeah.
But the profile is a little sleeker too. It's not as thick as the Millennium Falcon seems to be in the older movies. Of course.
Okay, so let me just say something here.
Okay.
Disney has almost already shoved too much Star Wars down my throat. And I fucking love Star Wars. And Brandon from 2 years ago, when we were getting drip fed Star Wars through an IV, would have been all over this Millennium Falcon thing. I would have been all over speculating and like, oh man, it's so cool that Han Solo changed the ship and you're seeing the ship early. And I do like that still. It is cool.
Yeah.
But like, you're going to make the Millennium Falcon look different just because it's a different toy. Like, I have a hard time giving a shit, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean that in a disparaging way towards your story or Star Wars, because I do still love Star Wars.
Right.
It's just like, there's fucking 2 Star Wars movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
There's Solo and then whatever the one is this Christmas. I don't remember what the one is coming out. Because there's just so much. There's so much Star Wars coming out now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm left behind. I mean, we're getting a fucking movie for Obi-Wan. We're going to get a Yoda movie, a Boba Fett movie. They're going to be great, but I don't know. They've lost me on a lot of it, man. They really have.
Yeah. See, that's a sad thing. That would definitely be another poll. Leave your comments down below. Everybody is listening. Every one of you sci-fi or Star Wars lovers. What are your thoughts on what Disney is doing with it? If you are still excited, if you think it's too much, if you think it's not enough, I'll take either. So,
Well,
let us know
because I can hear nerds saying that, 5 years ago, who would have ever thought we'd be getting more Star Wars? I should be lucky. And I am, it's just, and I'm going to see Solo. I'm not going to see it in theaters, but I'll pick it up on Blu-ray. I mean, I'll rent it as soon as it's released digitally. And then like 2 weeks later, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'll buy it so I can own it.
Right.
I'll have it on my shelf and I'm sure I'll watch it again. So it's not like I'm not going to see these movies. And I love Han Solo. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot about this movie that really has me excited.
Yeah.
Although the trailer was good.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the trailer was really good.
Yeah.
And it's a little weird for me watching the trailer and seeing actors that I know, because when you first come into Star Wars, like, you see a bunch of actors that when you're younger you just have no idea who they are. So it's weird being an older, being the older generation, having seen the movies where these actors didn't exist until I saw them. But now I've seen these other people. Now, for people who were of age when they went to see Star Wars, they had seen Harrison Ford in Westerns. They had seen, I don't know if they had seen Mark Hamill, because I think he was relatively new. Didn't he do stage before, and then he got on for Star Wars?
I'm honestly not sure.
Oh, no, wasn't he in... I don't remember. Carrie Fisher had been around. James Earl Jones, who played Obi-Wan?
Alec Guinness.
Yeah, Sir Alec Guinness. All of these people were established for adults of that time period.
Yeah.
But for me coming into it, I was these were all new faces and new people to me. So to see Emilia Clarke or Donald Glover, I've seen other things that they've been. She's the mother of dragons. It's weird to see her playing an offshoot character in Star Wars for me.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost like with the prequels, Star Wars isn't really made for us anymore.
Yeah, sure.
So, and that's more what it is for me, is Star Wars, the baton has been passed.
Yeah.
I'm still going to see them. I'm sure as shit going to buy the toys. I'm addicted to these Black Series figures. I really can't stop buying them. Walmart has all the Black Series figures on sales for $5, down from $22.
Yeah.
So go to your Walmart, go to the Star Wars aisle, and check out these Black Series figures and buy one for $5 because they are really just fantastic.
Yeah. If you want to...
please help me.
Brandon, if you want to, you can send me a bunch of links to the Black figures that you want, and I'll put them on our donation page. So people can actually buy you the figurines.
Buy me Grand Admiral Thrawn and Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'll do. I'm a man with a job, and I'm going to fucking go online and beg for people to buy me.
Hey, it's part of paying for the podcast.
This is buying me toys.
To make you feel like you're vindicated in doing this.
And I do love a good vindication.
That's right. And going back to the toy, it looks like the front end of it would actually come off.
Yeah. I'm guessing that pops off through the course of the story. Through the course of the movie, it falls off somehow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting, but it does definitely add a whole lot of length to the Falcon that, is peculiar to me.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, I think I like it. I just, it does throw you off as seeing the Falcon, all of these years as one way, and now it's technically a newer ship. He gets it from wherever he gets it, and gets it from Lando, I think. Yeah,
I mean, by the time we see the Falcon in A New Hope, Luke even comments, "What a piece of junk." Like, it has seen better days. Han has kind of left it into disrepair.
Yeah, exactly. And not so much left it in a disrepair, but he definitely has been holding it together with duct tape and chewing gum and paper clips.
Well, it's like, I'm kind of a slob. I don't know how you are. You're not really a slob, but like, you get a nice new car. After a while, you've dropped mayonnaise from a sandwich on the seat, and you just kind of cleaned it up the best you can. You get dirt in between the cracks of your seat, and you don't clean it out all the way.
I mean, my car is a mess.
Yeah, so it's just that the length of time you have it, it just slowly starts to get worse and worse.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyway, that wraps it up. Like I said, leave some comments down below. I really want to get your feel on the Star Wars buffeting that we're getting.
Yeah.
For sure. How does it stack up to the Marvel buffeting that we're getting? You know, that would be a good dichotomy.
Yeah, shit, there's 3 or 4 superhero movies coming out this.
Exactly.
I care less about that because Star Wars was something that I really grew up with.
Right. So that wraps up the show. If you have any questions or comments or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres. Email us at duelingogres@gmail.com and leave a comment on the Facebook page like these nice people. Brandon, go.
We got quite a few comments on our last episode, our interview with Josh.
Yep, we got a lot of positive feedback from having Josh on, which is always good when we have a guest on and people are responsive to it.
Yeah, it makes us more likely to have him on again, too. So I'm sure it made him feel fantastic.
That's right.
We had 2 comments from Larry saying he completely seconds his suggestion to watch The Expanse, a wonderful sci-fi show. Great stuff, guys. He commented about the episode and says, seems like a guide to self-publishing on this episode. Lots of practical and honest info about the behind the scenes of writing. Great interview, Ogres. Thank you, Larry. Bucky commented and said, interesting take on fantasy from what I heard. I'll have to grab a copy next time I'm at the mall. He was talking to the author there about the book. And Viscount Terry W. Irvin II commented and said, interesting to hear another author's perspective. Reminds me again why I sought a publisher.
Terry also commented on the YouTube video. If you want to go watch the YouTube stuff, we've got the episodes go up and they don't have any they don't have any video yet to them. But they do have the audio, and then I've also been doing some Let's Plays that you can check out over there. But he commented on the YouTube version of it and said, again, Babylon 5 is brought up. Rem states good, Joshua 2, Brandon silent. So
I haven't watched enough Babylon 5 to have any sort of opinion. I think I would have a hard time getting past the effects.
Yeah, well, in this day and age, yeah. You have to kind of suspend your disbelief with that one a little bit because they were cutting edge for their time, but they look incredibly dated now.
Yeah, it looks like 90s computer game graphics.
Yeah, exactly. Make sure to subscribe on our website at duelingogres.com for new shows and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. I've also been posting the Let's Plays on there as well, just kind of diversifying. Let me know what you think of those. If you're tuning in for them live on twitch.tv/duelingogres, or if you are watching them on the YouTube or watching them on the website. You know, I just want to know how that's doing.
Yeah.
Brandon likes to come and watch me, so.
Yeah, I enjoy them.
That's all that I need.
It's fun to watch a friend have fun.
It's good to know that other people are out there too enjoying it. And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or find us on YouTube, like I mentioned before, iHeartRadio, or nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
I don't think so, but I'm the same way. I feel like I'm forgetting something I wanted to say.
Yeah. Maybe it's because we didn't get through all of the stuff that we wanted to get to. Maybe that's it. I don't know. We're running long, so this will be good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
If you'd like to support us, there's also a link down below for donations or on the side of the page.
Yeah, or you can go to the bazaar and buy a shirt.
Yeah, you can do either or. But even though I haven't set up a Patreon, I feel like donations is kind of a happy middleman.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And we will have a Patreon coming. I know we've talked about it before, but we might as well.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever happens, right?
Mm-hmm. We'll just have to figure out what we're going to do as extra content.
Exactly. So until
Discord. Mention the Discord, because our Discord's been popping off lately.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you want to go over to the Discord and be able to talk to us at any given time throughout the day or night, you can pop on over to Discord and or go over to our website, and on the sidebar, just scroll down a little bit and you'll see a Discord list of people who are in our server right now. And you can just click on join and join us that way. Because there's no real like special link or anything that I can tell you to go to. It's just Discord and then some numbers and letters.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that's that.
But yeah, we've been talking a lot in there. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's nice to see our community growing. So please, if you are not a lurker, come on, join the conversation. We'd love to get other people's takes and feels on things in there.
Currently, we started a chain quoting Limp Bizkit for some reason. So
yeah, because
you have that to look forward to.
Because we did it all for the Nookie.
Yes.
So until next week, Ogres, keep your clubs blunt
and your tusks sharp.
Good night. I started the recording just now and I didn't get any of that gold.
It really wasn't gold.
No, it wasn't. Are we just going to jump in and do this? Is this going to be like a no outtakes episode?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not feeling very excitable.
Oh. Well, here's what I want you to do, Brandon. I want you to look me dead in the camera eye. Look me dead in the camera eye. In the camera. No, in the camera. Look in your camera. Okay. There you go. And what I want you to do is I want you to grab your nipples between your index and your thumb like this.
Okay.
I want you to give them a good pull like that, and then just keep a hold of them and pull real hard.
No.
Do it, man. It's going to get you pumped.
Pulling my nipples doesn't get me pumped.
Pulling your nipples is going to get you pumped. Pump your nipples.
It didn't help.
Fuck. All right. You ready?
Yep.
Wait, did you clap?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be part of things.
You're a part of it. You're a real part of it.
I'm a podcast.
Thank you for always joining us on this.
You fucking idiot.
I forgot how to say it. You fucking idiot. Thank you for shit. Fuck. I'm gonna start
recording now.
No.
Okay, we got the practice episode out of the way.
I need what is this? What is this? What does it do? Who is your daddy and what does he do? Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It's not a tumor. Get to
Not
the
a
chopper.
tumor. Get to the chopper.
Get
Get to the chopper.
to the chopper.
Okay, I wanted my fader. I forgot to pull up the thing that does the fader. That way I can
Oh, for your space?
Yeah. No. That I can just turn on a knob. This is to mute like that. Just
Oh, okay.
pan in and pan out. That is the thing like that.
I think I need that control for you.
Hey.
Oh, man. You got me.
All right. Anyway. So the website, don't load then, or do something.
I'm trying my best, Remington. The website make you cry or nervous?
Yes.
I'm loading, okay?
Oh, what the fuck? Why? Why are you doing? There we go. Jesus. It's like this screen doesn't want to work sometimes. It's really weird.
Yeah.
So let me pull up those couple of stories because they kind of all tie into each other. Oh, I can't tell them apart. There's this one. Your face is gigantic on my screen right now. It's big and pixelated. Fucking shut up. Not you, the ad.
No, I know.
Who is... I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I have no idea who Michael Cook is. Man, I was pulling up shout outs just to have them ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot get over that 312 like hump.
I know, right?
We keep going to 312 and then back down to 311 over and over.
Yeah, it's very aggravating.
I want to know who it is that's unliking.
Yeah. So we can kill them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can send him a message and be like, hey,
What
just
you gotta...
unfollow us.
Yeah. Just keep us, but unfollow us.
This arbitrary number means a lot to me.